Looks like we're live. Yep. All right. So, hello everybody. It is another weekly Ask Me Anything. I'm Marc Shumsker, and let's see. We've done a lot in the last few weeks. All 18 lessons for the rest of How to Deal Poker are completed, and I'm feeling great about it. I mean, it's about 40 hours worth of instruction and not only do I teach everybody in this course how to deal Texas Hold'em, but I also go above and beyond and give them a lot of insight into what it's like to work in a casino poker room, specifically teaching people how to deal with being in the casino. There's a lot of stuff they don't teach in dealer school because what you're trying to do in dealer school is pass an audition. Well, I provide a lot of that extra insight into what it's like to really work in a poker room as well. So here we are today. It is the regular Ask Me Anything time slot, and we are back. I was 10 minutes later than I normally am. My apologies for that. I was finishing up a Zoom call with somebody that I was recording for content where, someone that I used to work with a long time ago that I enjoyed working with, and, I've even caught a couple of basketball games with him over the years. We got back together because he just got promoted after 10 years as a dealer to dual rate, and he was asking me about being a floor. So I was like, why don't you just ask me questions and I'll record it and we'll put it up for everybody. So I thought that was cool. Dan says, yeehaw. Well, thank you for that welcome. Yeehaw back to you. Oh, that reminds me, I should do the thing where I say, any and all questions are welcome. Ask them here. All right. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about the course being completed, and look, anybody watching right now, you have until June 8th, that's less than 1 week, to get this course for $4.99, okay? After that, it's going to be $49.99. All of it's purchased through YouTube. So right now, you're in a great state. If you're hearing this for the first time, you get all 40 hours worth of content for $49.99, or I'm sorry, for $4.99. All you have to do is just get 1 month's worth of membership through YouTube. So be on a computer. When you're on a computer, click the join button either under my channel or under a video or on this live stream. And from there, you can get access to the lower tier membership group where these lessons, all 18 of these lessons, about 40 hours worth of instruction on how to deal Texas Hold'em, limit, no limit tournament, all that stuff, cash game, etc. That is $4.99 a month. It stays in that inexpensive membership group until June 8th. So now's the time to buy it because after that it's going to its permanent home where I will leave it for all time. But yeah, like I said, although, I don't know, I mean, maybe I'll take it out of there at some point. Maybe if enough people get the regular membership, I'll just say, you know what, I want to make this free to everybody as a thank you. Who knows, right? But my belief is it's going to stay in its permanent home for all time. But yeah, Dan said yeehaw. Dan, if you ask a question, I will answer it, whatever you want. I will answer anybody's questions at all. So, while I'm doing this for a sec, I'm just going to open something up and take a little peek and see. Let's see. What is going on? I'm just checking this out to see how many people are watching. I usually build this up slowly. It says 5. All right. So that's pretty good. And what else we got? I have found some old content of mine that I had never released, and I have just edited the majority of a video. I'm about to put that out probably later tonight or tomorrow. I haven't made regular YouTube videos in 7 years. I've been doing mostly live streaming stuff lately. So I've got all of this stuff that's just regular YouTube videos that I'm going to be putting out soon as well. My goal is to give people what they want, which is more stuff that's interesting. Daniel says, why, quote, the position is that important in poker? Very good question. So as a poker player, here, what I'll do is I will take this keyboard and I'll move it aside and out of the way. I'll put it down here. And I will take this mouse and move it aside and out of the way. So the question that you're asking is basically from the poker player standpoint. So let's say that we've got player here, a player here, And I'll even give out some of these cards. All right. And I've got a player here. And I've got a player here. And I've got a player here. Can we see this? Yeah, we can. Let me get some more chips to, answer this really properly. And a player here. Right. And here we go. So we're going to pretend that these cards have been dealt out normally. I'm just putting all this stuff here. Okay. We'll say that player folded. All right. So I got their muck cards right here. So basically, this player that's in position, the person who has the dealer button, after the flop, turn, and river, in all three of these cases, for each of those betting rounds, that player who's in position gets to watch what every single other player does before they have to make a poker decision. And that is a huge advantage, because that means that they're getting a ton of information every single betting round that the other players in the hand do not get. And so that's why they say, the position is so important in poker. Because if you were to say that you only were the dealer button every single hand you ever played poker, you would make an absolute fortune, even if you were not as good as a pro. Because getting to go last it's a huge advantage. You'd have more information at your disposal all the time. And just to play it out, so let's say the pot is this amount, right? Actually, let's go like this. So we'll show you a little bit at a time. All right. So this player's got cards too, and it's before the flop, and the blinds are $2 and $5, or we'll say they're 5-5 blinds. All right. So this player calls. Notice they had to make their decision first. This player calls. They had to make their decision second. All right. This player calls. They might decide to go all in because these players have called already, right? This player calls, this player calls, this player folds, this player calls, check, check. Okay, so we take this and we bring it all in, bring our flop. All right, well now this player's got to go first, right here. This player has position, so they check, they check, they check. This player decides to bet. This player get to watch all that, right? They have an advantage. They didn't have to make their decision. This player right here might fold, and then this player might go all in. And this player right here, who's last to act, gets to see, they went all in, they probably have a strong hand. Makes a huge difference being able to fold when maybe they thought they had a good hand before. Maybe this player has a queen and a 7 in their hand, queen 7 for top pair with a weak kicker. Well, once this player goes all in, now they think that hand's probably no good anymore. But if they had to act first, they might have put money in the pot and found out the hard way. I feel like I explained that reasonably well, so I can leave that explanation there. But thank you for that question, Daniel. So let's see. What types of things are coming soon with True Poker Dealer that you guys might be excited about? I think it's going to be funny. I have some videos of myself from 8 years ago that were pretty much complete, and I just never released them because I had accomplished what I wanted to with True Poker Dealer at the time. But now I'm going to release them, and they're informative, and they're things that people can learn and enjoy. And I'm planning on putting my present self in them a little bit too, just to kind of mess with people and have fun with it. My goal is to provide fun for everybody. Yeah, what else? Does anyone else have a question? I would like to know. Figuring out, just so you guys know too, maybe to encourage you a little bit. I do know that I read every comment, and that might be like, oh my God, I'm on the spot. Like, what if he doesn't like my question? When have I ever not liked a question, right? But seriously, any comment that makes it into the chat gives me something fun to talk about that's easy. Otherwise, I got to try to figure out what I'm saying and what to talk about. So I will say this. Earlier in my Zoom call, I got asked some pretty difficult supervisor questions that I personally enjoy that stuff a lot. So I appreciate that I was asked all that. But, one of the questions was, what do you do as a supervisor running a tournament where the top 10 spots get paid and you're down to 17 players and there's one player that's taking the absolute maximum amount of time every single hand until somebody has to call a clock on them, and then they call the clock and run the clock down every single hand. So I answered that question. Another question was, what's a typical day like for a supervisor? So I answered that question. It was pretty cool stuff. Shadu, welcome. Always good to see you. Mr. Polite, right? Or Miss Polite. I guess I technically don't know because I'm not familiar with the name Shadu. But you say, good day to you, sir, and to you all fellow members. Say we started a game of poker. How can we pick the dealer randomly? Are you talking about a home game? Like if you're at home deciding to play a game of poker, you want to know how do you figure out who deals first? Because I have a great answer to that if that's what you're asking. You know what? I'm going to show the answer to that even if that's not what you're asking. And if it's not what you're asking, you'll tell me and then I can answer what you want. But the thing that you do in order to figure out dealer is you deal for button. And it usually looks like this. So the button comes in the middle over here. Home game. Excellent. So you get somebody to shuffle. Anybody can do it. It doesn't matter. All right. So you just shuffle. And I almost cut onto the button. All right. Now this is in the middle. So you just start on your left. Okay. It doesn't matter where you start. You start on your left every time. And you give one person a card. Highest card by suit ends up going first. So the ace is going to be the dealer first. If this instead of an ace had been a deuce, then you go by suit. And suit is reverse alphabetical order with the highest letter. It's the first letter of the suit. So spade starts with an S. Heart starts with an H. Diamond starts with a club. Diamond starts with a D. Club starts with a C. Okay? So it goes spade is the highest. Heart is second. Diamond is third, club is the lowest. So in this case, the spade would be the button, just like this. But as it was, the ace ended up being the highest, and so this player would start with the deal, and that's how you do it. And if you need a process to figure out who does that, I would say just do it yourself. It doesn't really matter. Anybody can do it. You just start with whoever's on the left of you as the dealer, and don't forget to deal yourself in. If you notice, I went like this, and I went to everybody here, and I didn't deal myself in the home game. I would deal myself in if I was going to be playing in addition because I'm passing the deal. But I appreciate that question very much. Mr., by the way. Excellent. Yeah, you saying sir and all that made me think so, but I try not to make assumptions where there's a small chance that I could be wrong, and I don't want someone to feel disrespected, so I try to be careful. But I do appreciate you telling me that because now I know. And can you remind me? You told me what country you're in before, but I would love to know that again because I totally forget where you're at. Let's see. So last week I did a little thing where I dealt heads up against the audience. I kind of had fun with that. I don't know if I'm feeling that today though. But let's see. What's something that we could do for this? So look, I'm totally here to ask questions. I feel like I've explained an enormous amount of content recently, but I'm totally here to ask questions. But I want to come up with something fun to do right now. What would be fun? I'm thinking. This is my thinking face. Usually not talking when I'm thinking. Something fun to do. All right. How about this? Let's see. I will play a fun little game where here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to change up these screens a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more. Alright, so I'm going like this, and you can see above me too. And that looks good. And then I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to shrink it down a little, and you'll see why in a moment. And I want to get a little bit more space on it there. That's good. All right. We're going to go just like this. You'll see what we're doing. It's going to be fun. Now I'm going to take a deck of cards. We got some questions. We usually start $2, $4 home game with friends and then raise 4-8 to higher good starting blinds. Wait, we usually start 2-4. Do you mean limit home game with friends and then raise 4-8 to high or good starting blinds? Play poker with us. I guess I don't really understand what you're saying, Spiros. If you could clarify, that would be cool. What I want to do here is play a little game that when you learn how to pitch, you get to have fun with. All right? And the name of the game is, can you get it on the green? Now, in the case of poker, the felts are generally green. All right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this card down, and my goal is to stand back a little bit and get it to land directly on that card. And I will still answer all your questions as we go. So before I take my first shot here, Shadu says, also, sir, another question about the suits: spades, hearts, diamond, clubs. This is the right order, strength-wise. From Algeria, a country in North Africa where Berbers and Arabs are. Cool. Yeah, limit. Okay, I got you. For 4-8, $2, $4 are the blinds, yes. So if you're playing 4-8, then you would want $2, $4 blinds. All right, so here I am. I'm back against my wall. The table starts about here, so I'm really not that far away, and I've got that black card on the table to see if I can reach and get to land it on the green. So the first thing I want to do is make sure I get it on the table. The second thing I want to do is get it to land directly onto that, touching that cut card. All right, so I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to keep myself back and ready, and I pitch. Ooh, almost. And I pitch. All right, not quite. How many cards do we think it's going to take before I can actually get it to land on there? That was 3 so far. Now, normally when I do a game like this, I'll put my whole body into it, but ooh, that one went flying right past it. But I'm trying to kind of keep myself compact and in my spot here. So, pitch. Ooh, almost. The way that I view it is it's got to stay on it to count. Not even close. Ooh, that was pretty good. Right over my coffee cup, huh? I just want it to land. It's got to be, so close. It's got to be face down to count. That one's not quite touching. I don't know if you can see in the camera properly, but it's not quite touching. It looks super close, but there's a little bit of felt right there. Let's see. This is good pitching practice, and it's kind of fun, too. Keep it face down. I feel like I got to get one before I can look at the comments here. I don't know if you guys find this fun or not. There we go. I got one. All right, so how many cards did that take in order to get this one? That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I'll clean them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was one that went off. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 tries. All right. Well, maybe that might have been 18. I might have just counted it wrong. I'm about to change the game slightly, but let's see. I am Japanese. I'm studying a casino dealer. I will study to see. Sparrow said 5. I appreciate that. 7 cards to guess. All right, listen. I'm going to do something a little different this time. I'm going to leave it the same place, and I'm going to play the same game, but now I'm just going to leave my back to the wall, but I'm also going to let myself use my arm however I want. Okay, so now I'll give you guys a chance to guess how many times it'll take for me to get a card to land face down touching that cut card. Instead of pitching from back here like before, this is what I was trying to do before, which that is a very good game to practice if you ever want. But now I'm going to allow my whole arm to do it because I'm going to think about it as fun instead. So the question is, how many tries is it going to take to get a card face down to land on top of that with my back against this wall here, okay? So I'm going to start now. Just 1. Not too bad. See if I can do it again. No. The answer was 1. Oof. It would have been great if I could keep doing it, right? That might be touching. No, not touching. I have integrity. Nope. The answer was 1 though. I'm happy about that. But I feel like I wanted to have the challenge keep going. I should have just done the George Costanza and stopped. Right? But well, let's see. The guess was 11. I did it on the first one. I feel happy about that. Let's see. All right. What we will do is we'll play a game where I'm going to play heads up poker against all of you. All right. The way that it will work is I'm going to play. I'm gonna have a stack, and you guys are gonna have a stack. Okay. I'm going to show everybody their hand, and I need 3 people to say fold, raise, or call in order for that action to happen. And if everyone says raise, then I'm going to raise to the first amount that was said, although I'll use a little bit of judgment if I have to. And we're both going to start with $200. All right, so I need a consensus of 3 people that agree with the same thing in order for it to count for you guys. So we start with 200, and I'll give you guys 200 as well. We're just seeing what's fun. Now remember, as I'm doing this stuff, if you guys have any questions about anything poker, please ask. That I'm totally here for that. But I'm also here for the fun. I want people to have fun. So I'm just getting all this in here. So here we go. That's your hand. I'll give you the button. This is my hand. We're playing. We'll play 2-5. That means I have to get some of these chips. Actually, I'm just going to take these chips. It's fine. All right, here we go. So, I'm going to shuffle up and deal the first hand. So everyone understands, right? I'm going to play against everyone collectively, and whatever 3 people say, I'm going to say that's your action, okay? So here, we'll go like this since you're the first button. So you guys are like that. I'm like this. So I deal myself, you. All right, you guys are first, all right? I'm not looking. This is your hand. I'm not looking. This is your hand. You're in for 2 on the dealer button, and heads up. The small blind is on the dealer button, and the button goes first pre-flop. And I'm in for 5. So I need you guys to say what to do. The options are fold, where you just forfeit your $2. You could call, that means you put in a total of 5, or you could raise to whatever amount you want. If you say raise, you got to come up with the number, otherwise I'll just pick it. So whatever people say is what we're going to do for this hand. While you guys are doing that, I guess I'll look at my hand. Ooh, it's pretty good. All right, I got one person saying call. Anybody else? What do you guys say? So far, one person saying call. ACM said check first. 3 calls. All right. Well, this is me playing against you guys. So I make it 15. So now it's 15 total. So call was the consensus, but what do we do now? What do you guys say? I'm going to show you your hand again just so you can see it. In case anybody needed to see that. What do you guys say? I know this is tough. Well, I actually don't know if it's tough. I don't really know. I don't really know what you guys have. 15 to go. What do you say? This is interesting. I also get to see how long the delay is as I sit here. And you guys probably know about how long the delay is. Oh, I got a call again. Let's see, what else you guys say? Playing against True Poker Dealer, right? Can you beat me? Is it possible that you guys together can beat me? That's a great, great question, right? I've got 2 calls, 1 more call. All right, here we go. So you guys call. So we are heads up to a flop. And the board is it clear here? The board is Queen of Hearts, 7 of Hearts, 5 of Spades. And as I just do a quick little peek over here, I go first here, so I'm going to bet 20. So 20 is my bet. You should know how much is in the pot already, so I'm not going to tell you that because that violates one player per hand. And now, facing $20, what do you guys do? Five. Yeah, you said five people said call already. This is delay here. I can't see it immediately. So as soon as I saw the calls, then that's when I do it. But the delay, YouTube is actually pretty smart with this delay for what it's worth. Sometimes like there's delays for the streaming to the streaming site, and it allows for buffering in there to happen before it gets displayed to you guys. So you guys don't see that slowdown. It comes in smooth. That's what that 15 seconds I think is. So I get one person say raise to 80, another person say call. So one raise and one call so far. Let's see what we can come to. Ooh, 2 raises to 80. Wow, the exact same answer. What else do we get here? What do you guys say? I will say if I get one more raise, I'm not trying to induce action here, but if I get one more raise, it will be a raise. What do you guys say? What do you say? Raise to 80. Wow, 3 people said raise and to the exact same amount. All right. Well, that's a raise to 80, so we go like this. And I think it's time for me to fold. All right. And I am very happy to show what I have every hand, but first I want to do the right thing. Give you guys your pot. You earned it. Congratulations on your pot. I've pushed the pot. I moved the button, right? And what were we having here? It was King 8 versus Jack 5. Well, look, you guys had a pair. You were ahead. Congratulations. That was a great play. On to the next hand. Very well done, guys. Very well done. Maybe I have a tell, maybe I don't have a tell. Whatever it is, it was fun. All right, so now we're on to the next hand. Maybe you guys are starting to realize that my pre-flop raises aren't as strong as they could be. Yeah, you guys did have Jackson 5 as hold cards, right? Whole cards. All right, so now here we go. It's my turn. I'm going to show you what your hand is first, just so you can see it. That's your hand. You can see it. And now I'm first, and I am going to raise to 15. And so you're in for 5. It's been raised to 15. What do you guys do? Survey says, what do you do? Here, I'm going to shuffle my chips in an intimidating way so that everyone fears me completely. I'm going to anticipate the next hand, actually, and swap out 5 for 5. Call. I see a call. All right, call. Done. Here we go. And, ooh, I would have loved this flop last time. Let's see. On this one, you're first. So you guys act first. Wesley liked you guys like the raise to 25, but raise to 45. Listen, I totally respect that. However, I went with the majority. Remember, it's the first 3 people who say what they want. So I go with that. First 3 to say, get to make the decision together. So now it's check or bet on you. So I need a check or a bet. And we'll do the first 3 to say it. Check or bet. What do you guys think? Don't forget to ask poker questions too. Let's see. You said, sir, what was the word you said earlier? Maybe I have a tall or toll. Did not get it, and thank you. The second screen froze. I would say reset it because, wait. Why is it showing that it's frozen? It seems to be good for me. Oh, it came back. Oh, okay, good. So if it came back, that's excellent. All right. The image is frozen. It came back. And I've got bet, 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 check, bet. So we're going to have your hand bet for sure. I see 100, 20, 80. you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going to fold my Jack 7. You guys betting, you win with your flush draw. Shall we see what would have come just for fun? We're poker players, and we like doing that. And it didn't matter. You would have won with your queen high anyway. You get the pot as it is. Very nicely done. And I wonder if you guys can stack me. I don't think so, personally. I don't think you'll be able to do it. But, you know what? We're going to figure this out right now. 80 into 30. I totally understand where you're coming from with that. However, this is a very interesting experience because you're not supposed to play collectively. You guys go first. You're in for 2. You're the small blind for 2. It's 5 to call, and you go first. And it can be fold, it can be call, it can be raise. And I will look at my cards as well, which I have now done. And I'm curious what you guys are going to do. Very curious. What is everyone going to do? Now, I will give you a little bit of poker playing advice here. When you're heads up, I believe, now, look, I teach poker dealing, okay? I've played a lot of poker, but I believe that, raise to 15, raise to 15, raise to 30. I was going to say I believe raising is a more effective way to play. I am going to let this one go because you guys have not said to raise very often. I'm letting a king high go, which is actually unusual for me. Oh, gosh. All right, we're not going to rabbit hunt here because I was ahead. But listen, the power of the raise compels you. The power of the raise compels you, right? That was a fun hand to have, though. I totally understand the raise there. You're in a great position with a great hand in that position. I should have got more of these chips, but it is what it is. All right. So here we go. I'm going to go first. I look at my hand, and this is a raise for sure. Here we go. Now you look at your hand. What do you do? 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 Let's see what you do. I would like to know what you do. So, what do you do? What do you do? I wish the delay wasn't so long. I really do. But it is what it is. I get a couple of folds. 2 folds. Well, one person said food, but I'm going to take that as a fold. It would be weird to instruct me to go and feed the person over there. All right, everybody's saying fold. So I had a king high, and you guys have, yes, that makes sense. All right, well, now the button's back over to you, and we do this thing again where we swap one out, and let's deal another one. I got a couple of calls. I get it. It's more fun to play. You never know what's going to come. I will say that a 3-9 offsuit against a raise is tough to win with. For what it's worth. All right, so here we go like this, and now I deal it to myself. This is yours. You guys are first to act, right over here. First to act. What do you guys say? Let me fix your chips a bit. And I suppose I can look at mine while you're waiting. How's my poker face? I think it's pretty good as well. Thank you. What do you guys say? I like the participation. It's cool that you guys are all playing. Trying to beat True Poker Dealer, right? How is it going? All right, we should be right about the time. I get a call, and heads up, you must see as many flops as you can. It's totally true. Call, I see a fold. So 2 calls and a fold. What else? Call. All right. So 3 calls. And I'm going to look at mine again. I remember it. I'm just going to check. All right. So here we go to the flop. And I'm first. And we've got a king of diamonds, king of clubs, ace of clubs. For me, I'm going to bet $10 against that pot. So 10 to call. Your turn. What do you guys do? What do you do? $10 bet. $10 bet. What do you do? I'm curious. I'll have a sip of my water. Can you tell whether or not my hand is good by me sipping my water? Sometimes the answer is yes. Mike Caro seems to believe so. He says that a player who has a appearance of fearlessness, a player who displays fearlessness generally has a strong hand. All right, so one person said fold, one person said call to the 10. Another person said F, which I will take to mean fold. Permanent wants ACM to play better. You guys say fold overall, so we got 3 folds, so this pot is mine. I had a queen high. You guys had a 10 high. So it was the correct fold, and here we go. Next hand. I'm going to do a little third off the bottom cut. This is a home game thing. I learned it in table games where, watch, you take a third off the bottom to shuffle them up a little bit more. If I was in a casino, I would not be doing that. But because I'm not in a casino, I do want them to be slightly more random, and therefore I did that. So here we go. All right, this is my hand. I'm going to raise to 15, my standard raise. You guys are in for 5. And here you go. This is your hand facing 15. I'll put it down. And should be about 5, 4, 3, 2, let me see. It says obviously a lot looser. ACM says if the raise is not big, just call it. That is heads up. I get one person saying fold. So my first fold has come in facing 15. Let's see what everybody else says. So I raised to 15. It's $5 in the big blind. What is the verdict? What are we doing here? One person said fold. Can't see the top card. Ooh, sorry about that. Is that better? Maybe I was holding it in the wrong spot. Fold. Let's see. We need one more. One call. All right, so we got a call and 2 folds. Speaking of table game, any idea how the protection dividers, if any, will look? I know, way off topic, but curious. So I don't expect there to be protection dividers at every single poker room. I'm sorry, at every single like table games. I've noticed that a lot of poker rooms have opened up. Still waiting for one more person to say what to do in order to make this decision, by the way. Yeah, I've noticed that some of the places have decided to do this. Some of them haven't. All right, 3 people said fold. So, oh, deuce 9 off. Yeah, that makes sense. I had a 6-8 offsuit, but I was on the button. When you're on the button, it's a lot easier. All right, here we go. I'm just going to do a quick little wash, just like this. Why am I doing that? Because I want to mix them up a little bit. So here we go. Yeah, I actually don't think all poker rooms and casinos and table games departments are going to use those guaranteed, which, you know, I think they should. But it's logistically, it's hard to pull all that stuff off for everybody. All right, you guys are first. Here's your hand. Here is your hand. You guys are first. I'm trying to like spread it as much as I can, but I'm not looking because I don't want to see it in the camera. So the question is, what do y'all do? Oh, you said for roulette specifically? I mean, a roulette table seems to me to make a lot of sense. You just create a barrier, the height of the table, and then separate panels that go off of it, just like the poker tables. I would love to see that in roulette, personally. Let's see. I see call. All right, so one person says call. Another person says call. Call. What do you guys say? What else? I need one more person to act. Actually, you know what? All right, call big blind. Perfect. And I actually we'll call like this. That'll be better. I will check. So here we go. And I am first, and I will check. So I check. It's on you guys. You're the button. And you can decide what to do now. But it's either check or bet here. I need 3 people to decide the action, and then we continue. Very curious what everybody's going to say. It's interesting playing against a whole bunch of people. I do wish this went a little faster, though. Still have to figure that out. I get 1 check. What else you guys say? What are we gonna do? Another check. I see a C, but that could mean, I guess that means check. I'm gonna take that to mean check, so I'll bring a turn. Yep, lots of checks. All right. By the way, it's the Jack of Diamonds, 5 of Hearts, 8 of Clubs, Jack of Spades, and I'm going to bet $10. And so now it's up to you guys. What are you going to do? Did he bet 10 because he has something? Did he bet 10 because he believes that another card of the same rank means that nobody has anything? Did he bet 10 because he thinks he has a high card that's better? Did he bet 10 with some kind of a draw, like maybe a 9-10? Maybe a 6-7? What's going on? Daniel says fold. I've got 1 fold, 1 call, 2 calls. What is going to happen? 3 calls, 4 calls. All right, looks like everybody's calling. So here we go. River's coming. And let's see. I'm going to bet 35. That's a green chip and 2 reds. What does that mean? 35. Maybe Mark wants to win a pot. Maybe Mark has a good hand. What is happening? Did Mark miss a draw? Did Mark hit the river? Did Mark hit the turn? Maybe Mark has a jack. Now, technically, I'm not supposed to say any of this stuff. And if a player were doing this at a table, you would stop them and tell them they can't do that. Some rooms let you do that heads up. Imagine, Shadu says, imagine typing C and the virtual dealer be like, this is the 1-letter rule, so it's a call. That's funny. I get 2 folds. Daniel and Alexandru both say fold. 1 more fold and it's a fold. Yeah, I like the idea of typing C. I think it's kind of funny, actually. What do you guys say? You're facing a $35 bet. Also, someone cannot check if someone bet, by the way, unless they are a big blind, so they can check pre-flop. Right, you can only check as a big blind pre-flop, but then on the flop, you can check or bet. I've got 2 people say fold. 3 folds. All right, you guys fold. So that means I take the pot, and I become the ultimate champion for that hand. And you guys had missed it, and I had 3 jacks. And now I will take the button. Notice the smoothness with the cards. Pretty fun, right? Yeah, the virtual poker thing would be pretty interesting, but doing it real time would be tough. All right, so we get that and that. So we deal to you, to me, to you, to me. I check. I'm going to raise to 15. Is it because I have a good hand, or is it because that's what I do? And then you guys go. Totally your choice now. What is it you're going to do? It is a raise to 15 by me. Maybe you're getting tired of it. Maybe you're fine with it. Maybe you have a good hand. Maybe you don't have a good hand. It is really hard to tell what the right decision is here. But let's see. We haven't had any answers yet. I'm curious what you're going to do. Don't you guys wish that you could be shuffling chips with me here? This is me thinking. I get a call, I get a raise. So one person said call, one person said raise. All right. 2 people say call, call. All right. 3 people say call. Let's play some poker. All right. So The flop comes out 4 of hearts, 5 of spades, deuce of diamonds. You guys are first. So what do you do is the question. What do you guys do? You guys are first. You called my raise. A flop has a 4 of hearts, a 5 of spades, and a deuce of diamonds. And now we find out what your decision is. For you go first. What to do? What to do? Daniel says bet 15. So we get one person saying to bet. What else do we say here? Another person says raise 15, which means bet. One person says check. So we got 2 people saying bet, 1 person saying check. All right. 15. All right. 3 people say bet 15. So 15 is the bet. And let's see. How do I want to proceed? I am going to raise and make it 60. So now it's a total of 60 to continue, and we get to see what you guys say. So I have now raised to 60. I raised pre-flop. I raised on the flop. You guys, I'm going to assume here, well, you all have to decide what to do, but I'm going to assume here that you got something, right? But does that mean that you can stand the heat? Ooh, one person says call. Prad says call. What else do we got here? Daniel says call. All right, 3 calls. Looks like we're going to the turn. So we get 60 in the pot from each player. And now we bring the turn. It is a 9 of hearts. So now you go first. You can check. You can bet. Everybody said call. That's pretty awesome. Check or bet? What do you say? Check or bet? Or check or bet? This is funny. It's like I'm trying to play poker, but I also have to keep talking so that it's interesting, right? I'm having fun though. I'm enjoying this. I don't know that I want to do this next week, but I am having fun. What do you guys say? It'd be fun to have a couple of people actually here. I get a check. So 2 people say check. What does everybody else say? Check. All right, everybody's saying check. So you're going to check, and I'm going to check. So we get 2 checks. And now it's the 10 of hearts on the river. And so it is your turn. So you check or bet. And the question is, what you gonna do? We're looking for your decision first to see what to do. Here I am just shuffling my chips. In case you're wondering, I have 100 behind exactly. So if you wanted to clean me out, and you feel like you got me beat, maybe you bet 100. Oh, I see some checks coming in. Honestly, I can't remember how many of these checks are from before or after. I see a bet of 30. So I'm going to say that there's 1 check and 1 bet for 30. What do you guys think? What do we do? 2 bets now. This time the bet says 60. What do you guys think? 60 is the bet. 30 is the bet. 1 check. Let's see what we get. I gotta have 3 people say something before we do it. What do you guys think? All right, 3 people say bet. I had 2 people say bet 30. 1 person say to bet 60. I think that based on that, because I get to do whatever, honestly, it doesn't matter. To both of these bets, I'm going to fold. So you guys win the pot without a contest. I have folded to the bets. I believe that you guys are betting for value. I really don't think that you're trying to cheat me out of anything. I have ace king for no pair. You guys have, oh man, You flopped the open-ended straight draw and you turned a pair of nines. That is a very reasonable thing to do. No issue there at all. Very well played on your end. Now here I am. I'm down to just $100. And here we go. All right, listen, guys. It's on now. Ruben says, hi. How are you? I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm having some fun doing this live stream right now. I feel like light. I feel great because the lessons from last week, I've completed them. I'm going to shuffle again. So having completed all the lessons, now I can start creating the type of content on True Poker Dealer that I really want to. And, anybody that wants to learn how to deal poker, we're about to hit this thing in our country and probably the world where there's a ton, in my opinion, of people that are hiring, casinos that are hiring, because not everyone wants to go back. Yes, Ruben, you're asking if you can play. The way that it works right now, if you're just joining, first 3 answers that are the same, that's what your action is. So you're the small blind, and you're on the button. You guys go first. It's a 2-5 game. You're in for 2. And you guys say what you're going to do, and you guys are playing against me. First 3 people to say what to do that's the same, that's what we do. So whatever you guys say. So let's just see here what the answer is. So I showed you guys your hand. I told you I have $100 exactly to start this hand. And the question is, Daniel says raise to 15. So we got one person saying to raise. What else do we have? Yeah. Another person says raise to 30. Permanent says saw a video where there was a shove on the river heads up and a call. After the hands were turned over, it turned out the person who said all in wasn't in the hand. What are your thoughts on this? After the all in was said, the dealer put out an all in lammer and the player who called had the nuts. All right, I got 3 people that say raise. So we're gonna make it. There's 3 people say 30. All right, whatever. We're just gonna make it 30, but it doesn't actually matter because I'm going to fold. I had a deuce 7. You guys had pocket 5s. Let's look at it. What would have happened, right? Boy, that would have been interesting. Nicely done, guys. Boy, that dealer doesn't know how to deal me good cards, right? Mark, just go all in. So, first of all, this is a complicated situation that requires an enormous amount of information in the moment, okay? So, it's impossible, literally impossible for me to make this ruling without actually being there. And I think it's really important for everyone to realize I couldn't make that ruling without being there. It wouldn't be right for me to try to do that. That being said, as a general rule of thumb, I will say this. Any player, with or without cards, who causes somebody to fold by announcing a bet of any type is liable in the poker room at that table in the game. It's possible that they might end up having to put that money in the pot. So that's worth saying. So I say it's possible that the money would have to stay there. But yeah, it's a very circumstantial thing. So I'm going to raise to 15. And let's see. Oh, I have to show you guys your hand. Duh. This is your hand. I hope you like it. So I have started this hand with I think 95 or so. Yeah, 95. I'm gonna swap this out for the next hand already. Let's see. Almost forgot all in is a choice. I know, right? So what do you guys say? So I have raised to 15, and it is your turn now. I should remind you guys I'm the button, but oh, I see a fold. Playing safe here. What else do we got? I hear one fold. I agree with you. What else do we got? Yeah, it's especially complicated when a player who's not in the hand causes somebody to act. I see one person say fold and one person say call. So we got one vote for fold, one vote for call. First decision, one vote for raise now. A fold, a call, and a raise. All right. What else do you guys think? A fold, a call, and a raise. We need a consensus of the first the first action that gets 3 people saying the same thing. So if 3 people say call, we call. If 3 people say fold, we fold. If 3 people say raise, we raise. Whichever one comes first. Yeah, permanent. That's a pretty tough situation. I mean, I that would be difficult to do. Here, I'm gonna hold this up again so you guys can see. You're faced with a $15 bet, and I need more people to say what they want to do so that I can know. Make like Tony G, like you didn't look at your cards. I got a question, Mark. Do you know what program casinos use to organize poker tournaments? The clock, tables, registration, and all that. A lot of them use Bravo. 2 people say fold. A lot of them use Bravo. Bravo Poker. So first of all, these companies only sell to casinos. So if you're wondering for home games, I'm not sure you can get access to them. But Bravo and Poker Atlas are the 2 that I'm most familiar with. Table Captain is the Poker Atlas one. All right, I see 2 calls. Okay, let's fold then. All right, it's a fold. 3 people say fold, right? I see fold, fold, fold. 2 people said call. So you guys fold. So I win. I had an ace. A reasonable thing to do. All right. Next hand. Yeah, and from what I hear from the people that run tournaments, they like Bravo, but they're not in love with it. And I think that they would enjoy having some competitors that really won them over. I know that in Europe, there's a completely separate company software that they have. This is your hand here. You guys are in for 2 on the small blind, and it's on you. You're the button. And I will look at my cards while we do this. And yeah. So the question is, what are you guys gonna do? Let's see. I think after I beat you guys on this hand, I might wrap it up because it's hard. I get a call, I get a fold. All right, what else? Or maybe the thing I should do is just the first person, the first one to get an answer in. Call. All right, there's calls. I'm gonna check. And I go first. I'm going to bet 5. As a player, I bet 5. So what I'm finding is this is tiring me out. I can feel myself being tired, which is fine, but it's hard. It's hard to do a live stream and be so tired. Actually, I want to do this. Where's my keyboard? Oh, I put it over there. Oh well. See, and I can't tell what raise 4x, raise to 10, raise to 30. All right, 3 raises. So I'm gonna say the middle ground there would be to raise to 20. I'll call 20. And 8 is the turn. And I am first, and I check. So I check. The board is a 7 of clubs, Jack of hearts, 9 of clubs, 8 of hearts, and this is your hand. I check to you, and you guys go next. And I will give you guys a little secret here, a little hint that tells you guys what I will do. I have checked, and this is the final hand for now, because I am getting tired. I know, nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants. I get bet 20, bet 30, check. So 2 people said bet, 1 person said check. 2 people said check, bet, min. All right, I'm going to say this is a $20 bet here. It's trying to be as consistent as possible, and I will call. And the river is the Jack of Diamonds. And I check. Was that a tell? Was that not a tell? Permanent said, bet however much you have. So we got Jack, or this is your hand. I check to you. We've got a 7 of clubs, Jack of hearts, 9 of clubs, 8 of hearts, Jack of diamonds. And I have 55 remaining. It's your turn. I see jam all in last hand. I see bet 2/3 pot roughly. All right, so 2 people say bet. Bet to force me all in, all in. All right, it looks like the bet is 55, which is all that I have. I feel like there's enough of a chance that I have you beat that I have to call here. So I call, and all right, I have a 9. I am scared to turn over what you guys have. A 5, all right. 8s. I win with 9s. I'm glad this is the last hand. That was stressing. Wow. Did I just get all my money back because I got 9s instead of 8s? Let's see. Well, that is amazing. I ended up at exactly 200, which is what I started with. You guys ended up, you must have exactly 200 as well. Let's see. Yep. We all broke even. That's really funny. All right, there we go. Let's see. So just to kind of get back to these questions a little bit. These were some really good questions, I want to say. The first question about the video, let me see. Saw a shove in the river. Permanent, can you, they don't allow you to put links in the chat. So if you put a link in there, I wasn't able to see it. Can you, if you can tell me the title of the video on YouTube, then I can take a look at it. And then Ruben, I got a question mark. Do you know what program casinos use to organize poker tournaments? Do you feel like you got what you needed from that answer, Ruben? I feel, oh yes, good game, everyone. Good game. Good game, everyone. Yeah. Yeah, I'll stick around a little bit now for some questions if anybody has them. That was really fun. I was thinking that there was a reasonable chance that I was going... let's see. Yeah, I was thinking there was a reasonable chance that I was going to end up going broke, and that would have been humorously embarrassing. Hey, dude, can I make you a quick question? Sure, go ahead. I love questions. I love being asked questions. It's why I'm here right now. So whatever you want. Permanent says poker player says all in, then says it's a joke. You can skip to near the end. Okay. Poker player says all in and then says it's a joke. Whoops. I just banged into something back there. Let's see. YouTube. Poker player says all in and then says it's a joke. Now that reminds me of a hand that I've seen. Let's see.
Hi, I'm Rex Moore with the Motley Fool in front of BMW.
Said I can skip to the end. It's just a little ad.
I have a button. I've always said like.
Oh, I see. So this is one of those 20 minute ones.
Where.
All right, let's do
Let's
this.
say the guy checks and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna bomb the river here and I'll make it look.
Yeah. Let me see. What is a right percentage a live poker table earns per pot? Typically, a cash game is going to take a 10% rake up to a maximum amount. So they'll take $1 as the pot gets bigger. From like every $10 that's in the pot, they'll take $1 out of it. So typically, a poker table is going to make $5 max per hand. It ends up coming out to about, say, 100 to 120 bucks an hour. So it's not really a percentage. It's more like a percent up to a max, which ends up being like a commission. All right. So the thing here is it's tough because I don't want to have their audio in my video and therefore get my video flagged and taken down. And it seems like Hero here is all in and calls. Under the Gun says all in, not the big blind. Yeah, man. So these types of rulings are absolutely brutal. And it's the exact same thing that you said. I feel like what I can do is I'll watch this after we're done here and I will comment on it for next week's AMA. So I appreciate you asking me that, Permanent, and I will be back here next week for the AMA, and I will be happy to start out by commenting on that. If I had some headphones, I could throw them on and listen to that, but I don't want to go search for him and disappear for a little bit. But that's interesting. I like his. This is what's his name again? This is Crush Live Poker, and let's see. I forget the name of the person that does this, where he allows people to call in and then he gives them his answer on what they should do. It's generally poker strategy about playing. It's not generally floor decisions. But yeah, I'll listen to this from the poker room perspective. But my opinion when it comes to like the real wild stuff like this, that's completely different and out of line, is there's never exactly a right answer. Your job as a supervisor is to maintain the integrity of the game to the extent that the room/circumstances find most important. It's like, was this a private game? Was this a 2-5 cash game in the regular casino? Like all these different things end up being factors. So, it's important. Ruben says, thanks, Mark, for all the answers. I just Googled those sites you told me, Bravo and Poker Atlas, and I'm wondering if these are the actual program that we see in the TVs in casino tournaments. Thanks again. The poker, so their software packages. Bravo and Poker Atlas are both companies. Genesis Gaming is a company. I think Poker Atlas is a company. And then the product would be Bravo Poker Live is for cash games, and Bravo Tournament Clock is for tournaments. And so the company Bravo, if you buy their services, you probably get both. I think it's a package deal. I don't think they do separate. And their tournament software is pretty solid. Poker Atlas uses something called Table Captain. Table Captain has a tournament clock built into it as well. I believe that there's tournament software on top of that keeps track of tables and seats and all that for both of these. I know I've used Bravo a lot, so Bravo has pretty much everything covered in there. But if you if you go to their sites, I don't know that you're necessarily going to see their tournament stuff to begin with. But those are the leading ones in the U.S. Poker market. Permanent says, recently there have been quite a few floor call videos on this channel which are interesting. Well, that's cool, and that's the type of thing that I appreciate finding out, because then I can go and watch some of this stuff and create some interesting conversation. I will tell you this: poker players that speak about poker floor decisions usually get it wrong, even the top poker players. That includes somebody such as Daniel Negreanu and Doug Polk and some of the personalities. When I say usually get it wrong, let me clarify. I have seen plenty of times where the top poker players think that because they're poker players and they're around poker all the time, they understand what goes into a floor ruling, and the logic that they use doesn't properly reflect the logic of a poker room manager/supervisor. And they're not often privy into the details of what it's like to make those decisions and how it affects the room. Daniel, I mentioned his name. I do want to be fair to him. He's usually pretty on point, but I've seen definitely some times where he said things without really understanding and he jumped to conclusions. Doug, I've seen the exact same thing. These guys do a great job at talking about poker playing strategy, and they're not quite as good at poker floor strategy. So I don't know if this channel for Upswing is as good or not good. I haven't evaluated it, but I do tend to caution people, don't necessarily just listen to poker players when it comes to poker floor rulings. There's an entire world of understanding of what it takes to make floor decisions, and they can often be confusing. Somebody who is fantastic to listen to, who does a podcast, Sean McCormick, he is the director of poker at Aria in Vegas. I've listened to some of his stuff. He's on Twitter a lot as well. He is wildly on point. Very high respect for him in terms of these types of discussions. So if you were telling me that he was the one that was commenting on this, I would say I expect that everything he says to be very on point. That being said, there are different sets of rules out on the West Coast and the East Coast sometimes, and there's different sets of rules in different poker rooms in general. But that does not in any way take away from anything that some of these poker directors talk about, or anybody that's associated with the TDA in any way. They're usually excellent. But yeah, I'll be interested to see that. And again, I don't think they allow links to go in the live chat on YouTube. I think that's just their policy. But giving me the title of any video, I can find it, and we can have some cool discussions about that. Sparrow says, so I guess Sparrows, you remember that I used to deal table games as well. Besides poker, what other game did you enjoy dealing the most? I appreciate that question. I spent about 2.5 years. The first casino I worked at, I was both a dealer and floor. So I was a dual rate dealer floor for poker and table games all at the same time. It was a small casino, and they had one big department for both. And so I got to deal all the games. I actually really enjoyed dealing Pai Gow poker. I found it to be fun personally. Ultimate Texas Hold'em was kind of fun to deal. Blackjack, I was always like, yeah, right, whatever. 3-card poker was boring. That was before they had the 5-card poker, the 5-card bet as well in that game. Mini Bach was nice because you could sit down. Like, dealing poker is the best because you can sit down. Mini Baccarat's the only other game that I ever dealt sitting down. I liked dealing craps a lot, but it did get intimidating when there was a ton of action because I never went to a craps class. They just kind of threw me on it and taught me during downtimes, and I did my best with that. I got to the point where I could deal a relatively busy craps game, either on stick or on base, but never the real serious players that were like there gambling, thousands and thousands of dollars. I would not be the one they chose to put on the table then. I also did like roulette. I found roulette to be it's interesting. There's more complicated situations when you get a payout that has all these pieces to it, and you have to figure out how much to pay. And I also enjoyed sitting box and craps and flooring roulette too. But I would say Pai Gow was really fun for me personally, especially because there was a fortune bet where someone could win a lot of money if they got a 7-card straight flush. I always wanted to see one, and I never ended up seeing it. What else was there? Spanish 21 was okay. I liked Spanish 21 better than dealing regular blackjack. I found regular blackjack to be very much the same over and over again. Like, for anyone that thinks poker is repetitive, blackjack is incredibly repetitive. So that was my experience with it. I'm sure there's a game or two that I'm forgetting, honestly, because it was about 10 years ago that I dealt it was like 12 years ago that I dealt table games, but those were fun. And I really did like dealing poker back then too, for what it's worth. We dealt a 2-4 no limit game. 4-8 limit I dealt a lot. 1-2 no limit I dealt a lot there. This was back a long time ago at this point. Sparrow says, what's the difference in Spanish 21? In Spanish 21, take all the deck just like normal. And when they open a deck, they go through and they remove. Oh, I missed this one. The 10s. So there's no actual 10s. There's only face cards. So by removing the 10s from every single deck, you change the odds. It makes it harder for the player to win, but it also creates some things that the players can do in order to get the odds back in their favor. So there's no such thing as single deck Spanish 21 from what I've seen. But here's a little example. Let's see if I can remember this, if I'm being honest. So let's say you got $200 and you want to bet 20 bucks. All right. So in Spanish 21, I'm going to, just like blackjack, 5, like this, I'm going to check to see, do we have 21? No. So you guys go first, you have a 7, okay? You say hit, I give you 9. Now in blackjack, you can only double down on your first 2 cards. In Spanish 21, you can double down anytime you want. So you say hit again, I give you another one. In Spanish 21, if you get a 5 card 21, you get a bonus payout. So here you would hit again, and you have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? Actually, I forget the exact rule. I know that there's something like if you get a certain number of cards in Spanish, you get a bonus. So you might say hit again, 21, right? So this is a 6 card 21. I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure 21s get paid immediately in Spanish. You don't have to go up against the dealer. So I would have to pay you, and I think a 6 card 21 gets double. Just like that. Get rid of it. Then I would go like this, and it wouldn't matter because there's no other cards. So that was a really interesting example. It's not common to see a 6 card 21. It's not super uncommon either. There's also like I think a 6, 7, 8 might get bonus money. I might have paid that the wrong amount too. I just remember that a 5 card, 6 card, 7 card 21 gets something extra. But yeah, so there's little bonuses for Spanish 21, but it's pretty much the same thing as blackjack. So now we'll stack our bet again, and we go like this. 17 against an 8. You guys stay. 15, 21. Wow, straight flush. Whoops. Yeah, so that's how it works. Everybody, I appreciate the questions. I don't know why. I think playing heads-up poker against you guys made me tired because I had to check the chat so hard. But I'm going to jump off now, and I will be here next week. Stay tuned for videos that I release throughout the week. I'm very excited about it. And remember, you have until June 8th if you want to get all of the lessons for how to deal poker that I just taught. You can get them up until June 8th for $4.99. You just click the join button on a computer on YouTube on my channel. So go to my YouTube channel while you're on a computer, click the join button, get a $4.99 membership, and we'll binge watch these videos before the 8th because they're going to be moving to the permanent location, the $49.99 a month location after the 8th. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate every single person for being here, for commenting, for asking these questions. I'm going to go and watch the video that Permanent asked me to watch, and I'll have the answer next week. Take care.